Yo. Welcome back to another episode of our new series that we're doing called Lit Financially, where we discuss simple and practical ways to help you illuminate your financial game. I want to start off by taking the time to thank all of you for your questions. We really appreciate it. It's been really nice to see the pouring in of responses that we've been getting, so that's amazing. I want to start out today's video actually with a quick shout out. Shout outs to Ivan and Zuza 9648. Commented on our last video and he asked a really good question. His question was, what are some of the best ways to build credit if you have no credit at all? And I think that's a really great question. So I'm really happy today that we're able to have on Adrien Casas, credit specialist. Ivan's question, what are some of the best ways to build your credit if you have no credit? What you asked is exactly what we'll be discussing today on Lit Financially. Let's do it. Well, that's a really great question, Ivan. I really couldn't think of anyone better to answer that question than one of my best friends in the world and business partner, Adrien Casas, CEO and president of Get Greater Inc. Thanks, my brother, taking the time to come and hang out with us on the show today. We appreciate you. Cool. So before we get too deep into the question from Ivan, bro, how long do you think we've known each other for?
Known each other? Oh, man.
For sure been a while.
Yeah, over a decade for sure.
Over a decade, Jesus. That's been a while. That's so cool. I think you met me through my ex-girlfriend. Sorry, babe.
Hey, definitely don't put that in there.
So we both used to work for international branded LA fitness company, and we were both managers, and I was probably the better manager, but it remains to be seen. We're still good friends today, even though. So can you talk a little bit about what you do at Get Greater Inc. and maybe perhaps your mission statement and what you want to accomplish?
Yeah. I mean, mission statement would be, helping every individual redefine their greatness daily. So, that's going to be different from person to person. So we try to individualize people's financial goals. And, once we have laid out what the goal is for that particular person, then we're going to find a very structured approach on what we need to do to get to the next level. So we try to diagnose what are the things that are holding them back and then lay out the best path forward.
Okay. And do you focus mainly on credit repair, credit analysis? Tell me more about how you help your clients specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I would call it like a financial solutions platform. So most of our clients are looking to try to finance their very first home. They're looking to try to finance their business or build business credit. They're looking to, purchase a vehicle or maybe just restore some sort of issues that they've had in the past by way of divorce, joblessness, whatever it is. We try to meet every person where they are. And then once we figure out what the goal is, then we'll structure a plan dependent on what it is that they're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
So it isn't only credit repair, but it's also looking at debt, looking at budgeting, looking at what ways they can use their credit to leverage so that they're able super important. And you can't do that without the education, right? And this is the type of education that isn't taught in any curriculum in school, especially myself and you too, growing up in the inner city, like this stuff isn't taught.
It wasn't made available to us at all. Yeah.
So, having the knowledge, you used to always tell me, right? Each one, teach one, right? So I think that that's what the brand is. We want to be able to educate as many people as possible and then become juggernauts when it comes to the goals that they want to accomplish. And as far as the solutions are going to be, it remains to be seen. So we look at every person as an individual. So we want to figure out who they are, what they want to do, what's holding them back, and then kind of lay things out appropriately.
I think that's important. Everybody needs to be taking a financial perspective based on them individually. What your neighbor does might not work for you. What your cousin does might not work for you. So you need to have an individual plan. And I think it's really important that you find the right professional help so that they can guide you along your individual plan. So I'm glad that you brought that up. To my friend Ivan's question, what is a good way to build credit if you have absolutely no credit at all? What would you recommend?
If you have a profile that is completely clean, meaning there's no derogatory history, you just don't have any credit history, you're a credit ghost, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, what happens is that the credit bureaus don't give you a credit score if you don't have any history over the past 6 months. So what you want to do is you want to start to build active trade line history. And you can do that by way of many different avenues. We like to recommend starting the secured credit card route as a way to build organically. If you don't know what a secured credit card is, it's basically a credit card that you have to load with your own money. So the money you put in secures the line of credit. So if you put in $200, $300, that becomes your credit limit, and then it works like the same vehicle, like a regular credit card at that point.
Sure.
And the reason why this is a good way to start is because when you don't have credit, it's almost the same as having bad credit. Like, banks don't know if they can trust you with it or not.
Right.
So they're not just gonna give you a credit limit of $10,000, $50,000. You're gonna have to start to show that you can build organically and show positive payment history. So that's one really good way. You know, a lot of what we try to do is to help people build credit fast. I will tell you that there is a way to add revolving credit to your profile that actually ends up giving you a little bit of a boost quicker. It's called piggybacking. It's having someone add you as an authorized user to a line of credit. Exactly. So just to give you an example, it's like Marcus has a great credit score. You know, he has great credit history with American Express. He wants to add his girlfriend to that. Basically, she would inherit your credit history. So if you've had it for 10 years with perfect payment history, you know, a line of credit of $30,000, then she would inherit that. And that's a really easy way of building credit if you have no credit. So if you have a spouse or relative that wants to add you as an authorized user to a line of credit, that might be a really easy fix, but I'm a big believer of building organically, you know, so like you have to try to build things on your own. The banks will distinguish that. Also, the algorithm will distinguish that. So I think you have to be able to build appropriately with both. And then the last thing would be installment accounts. So this is getting a loan of sorts, you know, like a personal loan, a small one. They even have these sort of like reverse installment, you know, sort of savings types of accounts. And one that I would recommend is Self. It's kind of like you pay yourself $25 or $35 a month, and then after 24 months, you get that money back minus a fee, and it's almost like it's helping you save money, but it's also helping you build credit. So that's a good product. And to be fair, you know, if anyone has questions on this, I'd encourage you to reach out to myself directly or Marcus, and then we can actually email you what products we would recommend, actually.
One question about authorized users. So if my girlfriend becomes my authorized user, she can spend as much as she wants on my card. What kind of limits are set up so that she can't go out there and buy Birkin bags or something like that?
So it really depends on you, right? So like if you want to give her a credit card that she can use, then she can use it with whatever, you know, parameters you've set out for her. She doesn't have to have a card at all. For example, one of the early things that my mother did to kind of help me build credit was she added me as an authorized user to her Discover credit card. I didn't have access to the account. She just helped me build credit by having that account on my credit report. So that's, you know, a way that you can help your kids build credit early on as well, and then they can start to establish their own, you know, unique profile by adding organically and kind of building around it as well.
Is that something that you would recommend, that parents help their kids to learn about credit and give them an authorized user card? Is that something?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would do it. Like if, you know, I'm not blessed with kids yet, but if I had a child, you know, when they start reaching of age, you know, maybe in high school, going into their, you know, later teens, I would start to, you know, establish credit for them by building through an authorized user account, and then later on, maybe having them start to manage a secured credit line for, you know, that's how you would build credit for the youth, I would say.
That's really good. I've heard people say if you want to build your credit, you should get a car loan.
If you're able to purchase a car and that's your goal, who am I to say don't get the newest, you know, Mercedes-Benz on the lot? You know, but obviously you have to kind of compartmentalize what the goals are, right? Like if you're getting that vehicle simply to build credit, that may not be the best way to build credit because you're establishing debt from one day to the next. So whatever your profile could have been if you were to just establish payment history. You immediately hit a shock to the system. You immediately gave it $20,000, $50,000 in new debt from one day to the next. So you want to just structure things appropriately depending on what your goals are. What I would say is you want to be mindful when purchasing a car for a few reasons. One would be the debt load that you're adding, but also the inquiries that are done when you're applying. A lot of these places aren't going to give you access to financing if you have no credit history. So that means that you're going to be applying to different banks, and each one of those banks are going to pull credit off, and that's going to hurt your credit. That's considered a hard inquiry. Obviously there's a time parameter when it comes to how much that's going to impact you, but what I would say is if you're looking to try to build credit, that may not be the avenue you want to go, at least in the interim.
Okay. Lastly, is it good for people that are trying to build credit to get just a regular credit card right off the bat? Should they do a combination of the authorized user? Is there any one thing that is you would say is going to be paramount to others in order of adaptation?
If you can get added as an authorized user, that might be the quickest and easiest way to build credit, right? If you don't have somebody that you trust that can add you as an authorized user, and I'm talking about spouse, relative, someone that is going to be responsible as well, because you're going to
cares about you.
Yeah, and you're going to get the good and the bad when you get added as an authorized user. So you want to be mindful of that. That is probably the easiest way to build credit. If you're not going with that route, the initial recommendation was establishing a secured credit card or going with a builder type card that will be a little bit more I would say lenient with your credit. A good one would be Capital One. They will allow you to apply, and they have kind of like a fail-safe system, meaning that if you don't get approved for the regular credit card, they'll tell you to apply for the secured credit card if you want. So that might be a good option.
Yeah, going back to what you're saying on the authorized user, I think an important thing to specify is you have to make sure that you trust the person that is adding you, because if that person adds you as an authorized user and then that person starts missing payments, you're going to inherit that bad history as well. Is that correct?
100% correct. Though it is easy to be added and be removed from a trade line like that, as long as it's not being closed out or charged off. You want to be mindful of that. Ultimately, I think building on your own is the best way to go. You want to be able to be in control of all of your future financial goals and not have, somebody else's mistake or, somebody else's circumstances affect you and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's always best to take personal responsibility. Another company that I like that does kind of like a credit loan type of savings system is Credit Karma. Yeah. They offer a kind of an in-app loan where you can save, and as you're saving on an automatic basis through your paycheck, they will also start to give you credit.
Like payment history?
Payment history credit towards that loan when you're just saving money. How can people get in contact to have a one-on-one financial analysis with you? How can they reach you?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, getgreaterinc.com, it's really easy to book a consultation. It's free. There's no obligation to enroll into any program. We simply want to just start with an educational value proposition. If we can help meet you where you are and get you to the next level, then we'll lay out a plan so that we can do that together. And we are reached out all the time by clients that may not be in a position where they can at least get out of their current situation. If we can't, we're going to be totally honest and let you know what it is that, what cards are on the table for you so that you're able to at least understand how to navigate.
It's really important, once again, that everybody has a financial plan tailored for them. And so it's really important that you consult with a professional, someone that has the background and someone that can help you. You want to have a plan that's specifically tailored for you, and people just like my best friend Adrien are in the best position with his background to be able to help you. So make sure that you hit him up on Instagram, and he'll be more than happy to have a chat with you. Ivan, listen to my boy. He's hella smart. He's been doing this for a long time. We both worked in the credit repair industry for a long time before he went off on his own and started his own business. We're very grateful that he was able to come out and take some time out of his busy schedule to chat with us. Thank you so much for your time. This has been Lit Financially. My boy Adrien, appreciate you.
Thank you.